Tuesday, August the 21st, second period, Algebra 1. Time for the warm-up quiz. Problem number 1. You have to go to the parentheses first. 2 plus 1 is 3. And anytime you have a number up against a set of parentheses, that means you're multiplying. So 2 times 3 is 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. Number 2. The solution, you have to go to the parentheses first. 5 minus 2 is going to be 3. And then back to the parentheses first. But technically, you could do this and then this. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6. Add them together to get 21. Number 3. Solution. You have to go to the parentheses first. 2 plus 1 is 3. And then you have to go to the exponent there. 3 squared is 9. You also have another exponent, which you probably could have done here, but we can do it here. 4 squared is 16. And then you have 3 times 9, that's 27. Add them together to get 43. Number 4. Here is the solution. Go to the parentheses first and do 6 minus 3. That is 3. And then back to those parentheses to do 3 squared. 3 squared is 3 times 3. It's not 3 times 2. It's 3 times itself, which is 9. And then do the 2 times 9, which is 18. 3 plus 18 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. Last one. Alright, here's the solution. Go to the parentheses first and do 3 minus 2, which is 1. Now 1 squared is not 2. When you square something, you multiply it by itself. So 1 squared is 1 times 1, so you just get 1. And then go back and do your multiplications. 6 times 5 is 30. And 2 times 1 is 2. And then the 6. 3 minus 2 is 28. Plus 6 is 34. Pick a number from 1 to 10 and drop it off up here. The winning number today is 9. Time to bring up the homework answers. I need 1, 2, and 3 to start with. Answers to 1, 2, and 3 are 22, 5, and 5. If you have all 3, come and get it. Answers to 4, 5, and 6 are 42, 56, and 48. Answers to 7, 8, and 9 are 35, 100, and 55. Answers to 10, 11, and 12 are 22, 50, and 5. Answers to 13, 14, and 15 are 80, 18, and 16. Today's objective again is order of operations. And more specifically, The learning target is to include parentheses, exponents, and brackets in today's problems. Example number 1. 2 plus 3 times the quantity, 4 plus 5 times the quantity squared of 3 minus 1, close that quantity, and then subtract 2, close the larger quantity, and then add 5. Your first move in this is to always go to the brackets. Go to the brackets first and then start over. Inside the brackets you want to find parentheses. So when you're in the parentheses, inside the brackets, do the 3 minus 1 and come up with 2. And keep everything else the same. So back inside the brackets, you still have parentheses to take care of. You have an exponent there. So we'll go to that. 2 squared is 2 times itself, which is 4. So we'll put a 4 in parentheses. Now we have to go back inside the brackets again because we have a 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Now back inside the brackets, 4 plus 20 is 24. 24 minus 2 is 22. Now you have a 3 up against a set of brackets. That means you're going to multiply. So let's do that. 3 times 22 is 66. 2 plus 66 is 68. And if I add 5 to that, I'll get a 73. Example number 2. 3 plus 5 times the quantity, 12 minus 3 times the quantity squared of 2 minus 1. Close that quantity, then subtract 1, close the bigger quantity, and then add 5 times 2. Alright, go inside the brackets first, and you have parentheses in there. So you're going to do that first. Keep everything else the same. 2 minus 1 is 1. So we put 1 in that parenthesis and keep everything else the same. Now technically you're not supposed to do this out here on the end first, but there's a plus sign and you have multiplication. It's going to be 10 when you do get to it. So there's nothing that says you can't do it now. Just make it a 10. So we'll go back inside the parentheses, or inside the brackets, and to the parentheses you have a square, a second power on the 1. 1 squared is 1. That's 1 times 1. And then we'll go back to the brackets. 3 times 1 is 3. And back to the brackets again. Just do it left to right now. 12 minus 3 is 9. Minus 1 is 8. Now there's a 5 up against the brackets. That means multiplication. So 5 times 8 is 40. And now you just go left to right. 3 plus 40 is 43. Plus 10 is 53. Practice problem 1. 4 plus 5 times the quantity, 2 plus 3 times the quantity squared of 2 plus 1. Close the quantity and then subtract 10. Close the bigger quantity and then add 5 times 3. On the practice problem here, you're going to go to the brackets first, and then inside the brackets go to the parentheses and do this. 2 plus 1. So 2 plus 1 is going to give me 3. And keep everything else the same with the exception of this. We can make that a 15 now. Back inside the brackets, we'll do 3 squared here. 3 squared is 3 times 3. 3 times itself. That would be 9. Everything else is the same. Back inside the brackets, you're going to need 3 times 9, which is 27. Everything else the same. Back to the brackets, 2 plus 27 is 29, minus 10 is 19. And when you multiply 5 by 19, that's 95. And now you have 4 plus 95, which is 99, plus 15. Answer is 114. A bonus problem while we're waiting on the practice to come in. 3 times the quantity squared of 7 minus 4. Close the quantity and add 7 times 3. On the bonus problem, go to the parentheses first. 7 minus 4 is 3. You can do the 7 times 3 now and get 21. 3 squared is 9. And 3 times 9 is 27. 27 plus 21 is 48. Okay, back. Practice problem number 2. 6 plus 2 times the quantity. 30 minus 2 times the quantity squared of 5 minus 2. Close the quantity, then subtract 1. Close the bigger quantity, and then add 6 times 3. For the practice problem, you're going to go inside the parentheses first and get a 3. And you'll have to go back and square that 3. Everything else is going to stay the same. But out here you could make this an 18 already. Now go back inside the brackets, and in there back to the parentheses. 3 squared is 9. And then everything else is the same. Back to the brackets. 2 times 9 is 18. And now we can go left to right in the brackets. 30 minus 18 is 12. Minus 1 is 11. So 2 times 11 is 22. 6 plus 22 is 28. Plus 18 is 46. A bonus problem while we wait for the practice to come in. Answer to the bonus. You're going to have 2 from this. 2 and then square that to come up with a 4, which will be a 20. And then on the other side you'll have 5 times itself, which is going to be 25. That's 100. So you end up with 120. Homework is up next. Tonight's homework is the following. Make sure you write the problem number, the problem, and then show every step of the work underneath of each one so you can get your 50 points for effort.